What if one day you woke up and the internet was gone? No Google, no emails, no Zoom meetings, and yes, no Netflix. At first it might seem like an inconvenience, until you realize airplanes can't fly, banks stop processing transactions, hospitals lose access to their patient records, and the world grinds to an unthinkable halt. It's easy to take this invisible network for granted, but the internet is not as invincible as we think. What happens if the internet stops working overnight? And more importantly, what is it that keeps it alive in the first place? Before the internet, the world was a very different place. Sharing information meant sending it physically, type it, print it, mail it, and wait. Broadcasting news required bulky equipment like radio towers or TV stations, and communicating internationally, that meant expensive phone lines or weeks of waiting for letters to cross oceans. The 20th century introduced advances like telegraphs and telephone networks, but even then, technologies were isolated. Computers in one country couldn't talk to computers in another. Businesses lacked real-time coordination, wars depended on slow intelligence, and scientists struggled to share research efficiently. What the world needed was a global nervous system, an infrastructure that could link all of humanity in milliseconds. The spark for that system came not from convenience, but from necessity. The internet as we know it began during the Cold War. In the 1960s, the United States military wanted to build a communication network that would survive a nuclear attack. That idea led to ARPANET, the precursor to the internet, designed to keep military scientists connected even if traditional telephone lines were destroyed. Fast forward to the 1980s, universities and businesses joined ARPANET to share data, and by the 1990s, the World Wide Web, thanks to Tim Berners-Lee, brought this system into homes, libraries, and offices worldwide. That's when everything changed. File sharing, email, e-commerce, and global collaboration exploded. From there, the internet became the infrastructure underlying every modern system: finance, travel, logistics, social connections, and even entertainment. It evolved into one of the most important human inventions, something we can't imagine life without. But here's the thing, it's not as indestructible as we think. So, what actually keeps the internet running? At its core, the internet isn't some magical cloud. It's a vast network of physical cables, data centers, satellites, and undersea cables connecting billions of devices across the globe. When you're sending an email from London to Tokyo, it actually travels through fiber optic cables buried under the ocean. Here's a visual. Imagine the internet as a global highway system. Websites are destinations, data is the traffic, and the cables and servers are the roads. But instead of cars on asphalt, we have streams of packets traveling at near light speeds. Routers and servers act like intersections and roadside signs, ensuring your request reaches the right location. And to control it all, domain name systems, or DNS, operate like the phone book of the internet, translating website names into coordinates your browser can understand. All of this happens in milliseconds, seamlessly, or so it seems. Let's imagine a world where the internet vanishes overnight. At first, it might feel like your phone's acting up, until you realize your banking apps don't load, online payments don't work, and cash machines can't dispense money. Businesses reliant on cloud services lose their data access, airlines can't schedule flights, and traffic lights synchronized by internet services fail, causing widespread chaos. The economic impact would be just as catastrophic. Did you know that the internet generates over $4 trillion each year in global commerce? Without it, e-commerce giants like Amazon, services like Uber and DoorDash, and even supply chains managing global trade would collapse. Shipping routes wouldn't update, factories would run out of parts, and shelves wouldn't restock. It's not just dollars lost, it's essentials. Hospitals couldn't share patient records, leaving vulnerable lives at stake. Farmers couldn't depend on GPS-guided tools, affecting global food supply chains. And think about global defense systems. They'd lose the backbone of real-time coordination and intelligence. In short, modern infrastructure would fall apart completely. You might be asking, is it even possible for the entire internet to fail? The short answer is yes, although it's unlikely all at once. Most countries have redundancies, but serious threats remain, like cyber attacks, solar flares, or human error when managing the undersea cables that carry 99% of internet traffic worldwide. In fact, we've already seen hints of how fragile it is. In 2007, a single anchor from a ship accidentally cut a major undersea cable near Egypt, disrupting internet access across Asia, the Middle East, and Africa for weeks. And in 2021, a technical issue at Fastly, a company supporting CDNs or content delivery networks, caused some of the world's biggest websites like Amazon, Spotify, and CNN to go offline for hours. Now imagine these events on a global scale. Fortunately, engineers and governments constantly work on securing the backbone of the internet. From cybersecurity measures to satellite backups like Elon Musk's Starlink projects, which aim to create a web of satellites providing continuous internet access anywhere on Earth. Still, it's worth remembering, this invisible, indispensable technology is much more fragile than we realize. The next time you send an email or stream your favorite series, think about the cables, satellites, and people who keep this system alive, because without it, our world would go dark. What other invisible systems do you want us to explore next? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.